genre.
Hello and welcome back to The Doctor's Companion presents Doctor Who, The Long Way Round, the weekly podcast where we review and discuss every episode of Doctor Who, one doctor at a time. I'm Nick Jimenez.
I'm Scott Corelli.
And I'm Cassandra Fredrickson.
And today we will be discussing Revenge of the Cybermen, the fourth Doctor's fifth story, and oh, what a story it is.
Uh-huh.
Scott, you got any background for us on this one?
I have quite possibly the craziest set of background for this that I've ever read going into a Doctor Who story.
Okay.
So,
yeah, it's awesome.
So there's some pretty, standard behind the scenes stuff, and then it goes off the rails pretty quickly.
I feel like I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So okay, so first of all, Barry Letts, who was the Doctor Who producer during the era directly preceding this, he had such good success with ratings bringing the Daleks back during a third Doctor story, Day of the Daleks, that he wanted to repeat that. So as he was putting together the preliminary stuff for this season, even though he wouldn't end up actually producing this season, because this would be produced by Hinchcliffe and Holmes. The preliminary stuff, the hiring of writers and sort of like the overall planning stages were done by Barry Letts, and he decided that he wanted to repeat that success by bringing back the Cybermen, which hadn't been in a story since the invasion in 1968. So to bring back the Cybermen, he went to Jerry Davis, the co-creator of the Cybermen. Davis's last scripting effort was 1967's Tomb of the Cybermen, which is
so good,
one of the greatest Cybermen stories ever. And here's the thing. His original plan for this story, the story that he pitched before things started going wrong on the production side of things, was actually really interesting. It was called Return of the Cybermen, and it was going to take place in a space station, as it does. But the space station was going to be a casino, and it was going to be like a space casino, and the Cybermen were going to be, trying to take over the casino, and then we're going to be killed with the gold in the casino. Yeah. Which
sounds like that place in Last Jedi that everybody loved.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I assume they would have taken out the Cybermen much like BB-8 took out the cops.
Yeah, absolutely.
But so that was the original plan, and that's what he sent in. And when they got it, by the time they got it, we had moved on, and Hinchcliffe and Holmes had taken over, and they were a little worried about the money situation. They were, it was the first time that they were running the show, and so they were really concerned about how much money they were spending. And so to save money, they were like, okay, we're not going to do the casino thing because that's going to cost a lot of money. And we're going to reuse the set that we already used in the Ark in Space. So we're going to film those two stories back to back, and we're going to use the same set for both of them. So figure out how to do the same story, but with that. So then that's when he came up with the asteroid idea and all of that. But in this, he went the complete opposite direction. And Davis decided that it would be the asteroid. So it would be the asteroid, and then there were miners on the asteroid mining gold on the asteroid. And the Cybermen want to destroy the asteroid because they want to destroy, I guess, the gold so that they can't be killed. So that was the idea, and that's what he wrote and what they decided to go with, and that's when it was changed to Revenge of the Cybermen. And that was all well and good, but what happened was that just before they started shooting, they realized that they had a surplus of budget. All of us, because they had been so stingent with the budget and with spending money, that they ended up having all this extra money. They're like, oh, okay, well let's originally, no, they weren't actually going to shoot in the asteroid. They were just going to talk about the asteroid and talk about the miners in the asteroid, but they weren't actually going to have any scenes there. They were just going to shoot in the Ark in space, and that's it. And then they're like, well, we have all this money, so let's shoot the asteroid. So they decided to shoot on location. And the location that they went to was this network of natural caverns known as Wookiee Hole near Wells in Somerset. And so they're gonna go film there. And that's where they were going to spend the rest of their money. But even filming on location, they still had extra money. So they're like, okay, well, let's just make the miners into aliens, and we'll have aliens, and we'll shoot on location in the asteroid at those mines, and that'll be what we do. So right away, it's the weirdest thing, because it wasn't the lack of money that caused problems. It was a surplus of money that suddenly caused problems and made this story make very little sense.
Guess it just goes to show you.
Yeah, right. Totally. Like they had a solid story with the casino one. They abandoned that because they couldn't spend enough money. They came up with a really smart, quick and dirty way to save money and make a pretty solid Cybermen story. And then when they saw they had surplus money, they're like, well, let's make it better. And they ended up making it worse. So there's that. So that's all pretty normal stuff. Then stuff gets off the rails.
Okay.
So they were shooting, as I mentioned, they were shooting at Wookiee Hole. And this was a place that was inhabited by primitive men around 50,000 BC. And had gained a reputation for being haunted by a Dark Ages witch that had been petrified as one of the cave's rock formations, right? So they're scouting this place, and one of the producers or whatever, one of the people, this guy named Bryant, he brought his wife out while they were scouting the location, and his wife Monique found these arrowheads in the sand and decided she would keep them as a memento. And she kept the arrowheads, and then a curse hit the production. So the first thing that happened, and this is by far the craziest thing, but the first thing that happened was that they were so they're getting ready to set up the production wing, which they were setting up sort of like the day before so that everyone could just show up and shoot the next day. And they're setting all this up, and this dude comes up, and he's in spelunking gear, and no one knows who this guy is, why he's there, and he's like bothering everyone on the set, and everyone is like, what is the deal with this guy? Because he's just sort of like standing on the peripheral of them setting up everything and just sort of watching. And the director of the story basically came to believe that this was actually a ghost of an Irish potholer who had died in the caves 3 years earlier.
Oh my god.
So they were being haunted by a spelunker who had died, an Irish spelunker. Then during the 4-day locations shoot, the boats that they were using for the Vogan skimmers that Sarah Jane tries to escape in, they were repeatedly breaking down, and for seemingly no reason whatsoever, no one could figure out what was wrong with them. They were just all breaking down. And then the floor manager, Rosemary Hester, had a sudden attack of claustrophobia and had to be replaced by someone else. And then like 2 or 3 other people got really sick. Then, as we went along, a bunch of the crew members disobeyed instructions and interfered with the witch formation. No one said what they did to it, but they interfered with it somehow.
They did what they shouldn't have.
Yeah, right. And that afternoon, the boats that weren't working properly, it wasn't turning off. It went haywire with Elizabeth Sladen in it, and it was heading to smash into a cavern wall, and she had to jump overboard. And then the boat like smashed into the wall and was destroyed. And she couldn't swim, so a stuntman had to jump in and save her in the water, and then fell ill afterwards. A ladder collapsed under an electrician, and he suffered a broken leg. And a pyrotechnics stunt went wrong. And all of this was blamed on Brian's wife taking the arrowheads. And Bryant basically walked her back to the location and had her leave the arrowheads back there.
Sure.
And then as soon as she did, everything stopped.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's all it took.
Yep. Yep.
That's crazy, man.
Yep. Yep.
That would be a really good. No, I don't know. I mean, like, I was going to say that would be a good episode of the Adventure in Space and Time show that we're like kind of creating in our heads. But
Yeah.
that's like decades past the first one.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, but yeah, that's just such a.
It's insane.
Yeah,
it's completely insane.
I mean, Irish spelunkers are in it.
Ghost Irish spelunkers.
Yeah, the ghosts of not actual Irish spelunkers. That's a good distinction.
It's
Just a
like
ghost.
it's like
they weren't, like,
poltergeist
trapped.
level of like set haunting. It's
Or The Omen.
yeah.
Yeah. It's insane. It's insane. So all of that happened.
Which movie? Oh no, you're not done yet. Keep going, please.
No. Go ahead, because I'm moving on from the ghost stuff. So if you have more to add to the ghost stuff, go ahead.
I was just gonna just ask maybe even the listeners, but certainly you guys, you two, which I guess film production or television production in the last, let's say 5 years to keep it simple, if you heard what was haunted by like a curse, some kind of curse, you wouldn't be surprised. You're like, oh, that checks out.
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe maybe those Kirk Cameron movies.
Yes. Yeah. Like he's cursed to keep making them. So you like making movies, do you? I really. Oh man, you guys remember that photo of him eating Subway like at his birthday?
No, I don't follow Kirk Cameron.
It went viral a few years ago because it was like "Happy Birthday, Kirk," and it was just like a plate of Subway, and he just looked kind of happy.
Wow,
like, oh, that's what that guy's up to.
So then after the curse happened, it did the main production stuff. There was something good here, and I this next bit really sticks in my craw because it reminds me of when they announced that the Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 2 ended with Ant-Man instead of Age of Ultron, and I was like, why? Why? I love Ant-Man, but that doesn't make any sense at all. Why? Why is that not the start of Phase 3? Drives me up a wall. So something similar happened here. The BBC decided that Doctor Who's 13th season should begin in the autumn because of how great the 12th season had been doing ratings-wise. So they wanted to bring it back sooner. But in order to do that, they had to make their season finale, their final story of season 12, the season premiere of season 13, because otherwise they wouldn't have been able to get the show finished in time. So Terror of these Zygons, which was supposed to be the season finale of season 12, ended up being the season premiere of season 13. And you can tell, like, it always rubbed me the wrong way that it was the beginning of a new season instead of the end of this season, because it's absolutely the end of the story that starts in Robot.
Yeah.
It's really distracting. And then, and this is fun, this was like perfect timing, just announced today, the BBC announced that Doctor Who season 12, this season that we're talking about, will be the first ever Classic Who season in its entirety released on Blu-ray.
Nice.
And that's happening later this year with brand new special features, and they've somehow raised the video quality up to HD levels. Somehow. And this story in particular, Attack of the Cybermen, I don't know, or Revenge of the Cybermen, I don't know how or where this is happening, but apparently it will feature brand new state-of-the-art updated special effects. So I don't know where that's going to be, but apparently that's a thing that's going to happen.
I can't wait to see Bubble Wrap in HD, you guys.
Yeah, I know, right?
What if they told you that they got the Fourth Doctor to sit down and do some commentaries? That they got Baker to actually sit down and talk about it. Would you do it?
No.
Or would it be like, no?
I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking about getting it anyway. I really do like this season overall, you know? So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, and then this last thing. This is just the funniest thing. Okay, so this story is also God. There's so much with this one, which is so weird when you watch it. Because you're just like,
you're
really?
right. No,
this
like,
one?
it's not a train wreck episode. It's
not a particularly special one either.
That's true too. Yeah, it is very much just like another Cybermen episode. We'll get to that later. But
yeah,
you're right.
So here's the other thing that's really interesting. So the BBC back in 1983 at a convention called 20 Years of a Time Lord, the BBC announced that they were going to start releasing stories on video, on video cassette, and they wanted to know what story the fans wanted them to release first. So everyone voted, and everyone voted, and in 1983, the BBC released their first story on video cassette, which was Revenge of the Cybermen.
What the hell?
Which,
yay!
No, but here, this is the best part. So they released Revenge of the Cybermen because the fans' true choice was Tomb of the Cybermen. And when they went to the BBC archives to get it, to release it, they realized that they didn't have it anymore. It's because of this story that they started to realize they were missing Doctor Who stories.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so they released Revenge of the Cybermen and pretended that it was the same.
Which is like the most mom on Christmas Eve thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Nick hasn't seen Tomb of the Cybermen yet, but that would be like the biggest slap in the face. Like, can you imagine being like a fan in like '83 and being like, oh man, I remember this when I was a kid. It was like the awesomest thing, and then it's just like, yeah, Revenge of the Cybermen is totally the same, right, you guys?
It's literally like Nick said, it's like asking for a PS4 for Christmas. And you open your Christmas present and you get a used PS2 from GameStop.
I was gonna say one of those like joystick like USB, you plug it into the TV, and you just play the game from like the arcade, whatever.
Yeah. Oh
yeah,
man,
I also thought it was really fun that you said it was originally titled Return of the Cybermen, and it ended up being called Revenge of the Cybermen, which is a reverse of Revenge of the Jedi, Return of the Jedi.
Oh yeah, that's true. That is true. Also, 1983.
Whoa. See, like people give, because like a couple years ago we went through like an age of fit where just every movie was like age of blank, age of this, age of that. And it's good to know that was still happening.
Oh yeah. And then the last thing, and this is just interesting, I guess. There's Jerry Davis, for whatever reason, because his last story, Tomb of the Cybermen, they'd already stopped doing this, but for whatever reason, when he turned in his scripts, they all had subtitles. So episode 1 was called The Beacon in Space. Episode 2, The Plague Carriers. Episode 3, The Gold Miners. And episode 4, The Battle of the Nerva.
Man, those subtitles they're just so bougie is the word that comes to mind. Just so extra.
Is that a word? Bougie?
Bougie with a B.
Oh, bougie. Oh. All right. Yeah. So anyway, Revenge of the Cybermen is insane. It's an insane.
It's like how Frasier has those chapter break titles too.
Oh my God, I forgot it did that. Wow. I haven't watched Frasier in a really long time.
Oh, I watch it every day.
I know you do. All right. Well, that's Revenge of the Cybermen as far as the background significance. Unfortunately, we're going to be talking about the story now, and it's not nearly as interesting as all that.
Right?
Yeah, I'm looking through the TARDIS the TARDIS data core here, and I'm looking at like how they for reference, and they have it broken down into parts, and I'm just looking at these paragraphs. I'm like, yeah, I can clear through some of these.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of generous detail in here, TARDIS data core. Revenge of the Cybermen, Part 1. Written by Gary David. Directed by Michael Bryant. Produced by Philip Hinchcliffe. Script edited by Robert Holmes. Air date, the 19th of April, 1975. The Dr. Harry and Sarah Jane arrive back at Space Station Nerva, but the TARDIS isn't where they left it. A door in the space station opens, revealing a hallway full of dead bodies. Meanwhile, on board the space station, a crewman named Warner warns approaching ships to stay far away as the space station is under quarantine because of a terrible plague. The station is on a 30-year assignment to warn ships away from the asteroid Voga until its location is updated on all the official star maps and star charts and whatnot. Meanwhile, while checking out all of the new dead bodies around them, the Doctor is attacked by a Cybermat. On the asteroid Voga, an alien is killed by his own kind to prevent him from communicating with the space station Nerva. The Vogan leader, Vorus, has a man on the inside back on the station who's being paid in gold, which isn't even that rare or valuable on Vogan. The crewman Warner is also attacked by a Cybermat, where he's found by the Doctor in the communications room. They take Warner to the medical room where they meet Dr. Kelman, who, spoilers, is working for the Vogans. When Warner dies, the Doctor finds the bite marks of a Cybermat and begins to wonder if there's any plague at all. The Doctor sneaks into Kelman's quarters and finds gold and communication devices. Kelman sets off a poison gas in the room, endangering the Doctor's life. As this goes on, Sarah Jane is attacked by a Cybermat.
So, episode 1 begins with our heroes falling through space.
Yes, yeah. Oh my God, thank you. That was great.
It's good. Completely out of context. Like, there's no context for why they're falling through space. They just really are.
I feel bad. I actually went back to the last one. Like, wait, is that how the last one ended? And then I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it did, but like, it's just funny that they chose not to give you the context at the beginning of this story.
Yeah.
You're just like, nah, it's fine. You don't need to know.
They watched last week. It's fine.
Yeah, no problem. It was called Genesis of the Dogs. Of course they watched last week.
Yeah.
So they show back up on the Ark. They're back on the Ark.
That friggin' Ark, man.
Yeah, they were gone for 2 stories, and now they're back.
Mm-hmm.
Back on the Ark in a different time period.
Is there a place in modern Who that he goes back to as much as that Ark, that ship? Besides like Rose Tyler's house, you know what I mean? Like I just for some reason like I'm always surprised at how often like it's like, oh wow, yeah, but then maybe it's just a result of like the story being connected more than they've been in other classic Who.
Yeah. I think it's more of a budgetary thing, but like also
that's very true. Yeah.
But also, they're trying to attempt a kind of throwback style thing where each story is connecting to the next one, which was but because during the Pertwee era it was very like modular the stories. For the most part you could take the episodes during each season of the Pertwee era and rearrange them and really change nothing. Just about. So, I really like the way that this season is structured, but again, it would be better if it had the Zygon episode as the capper, because it's where we say goodbye to Harry. It's, it's back on Earth, so it's kind of bookended. It's stupid that it opens season 13. So this is we're back on the same set, and it's not as fun this time.
Yeah.
It's like going back to a bar.
It's like going back to the bar you had a really fun time at 2 nights ago, but you're coming back on like a Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah, and you're like, oh no, this is what this place looks like in the daytime.
Oh, this is real sad. Yeah, it's not great. I don't really understand the timeline. Is it the exact same? I know it's the exact same set. Is it supposed to be the Ark, or is it? Because they kept saying a couple of times like, this isn't our Ark, and he's like, it's a different time, and it's just, I don't know. It was weird. Like it didn't feel like they hard and fast said this is absolutely 100% the same Ark from the Ark in Space.
There's a scene where the Doctor's like trying to explain like, oh yeah, we're thousands of years before that happens,
right?
But I don't actually know if it's like the same physical, but it doesn't get blown up.
Or just like the same
so
model.
I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. It was unclear.
A lot of this story is.
Well, if you guys are confused, then I'm boned.
Yeah. But we do have Cybermats here.
Yeah, but they're like...
Yeah, that was
dumb.
great. They're so long. They look like wiener dogs.
They do.
I like compact, cute-looking Cybermats instead of like weird caterpillar ones.
You like the ones with the brushy mustaches?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember if there were Cybermats in the moon base, or is that a Tomb of the Cybermen thing?
That's Tomb of the Cybermen.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, they hadn't been invented yet. There's nothing quite like a moment in Classic Who where they have to pretend that they're in peril and they're just not at all. Perfect example is the arm stuck in the door.
Oh, that was great. Well, the doctor dropped some choice puns right before getting his arm stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've become quite attached to it. It's very handy.
Yeah.
And then there's a great moment after the door opens where like the doctor gives Harry like a dirty look, and Harry turns to Elizabeth.
Sarah Jane.
I couldn't think of her fake name. That was so weird. Turns to Mary Jane.
Sarah Jane.
Damn it, to Sarah Jane. And I was like, what did I do? And it made me laugh. And I was like one of those times where I was really grateful for the the trio dynamic as opposed to just like the Doctor and his companion.
The Doctor is just continuously trolling Harry Sullivan throughout this story.
The Doctor likes it when there's like a guy and a girl, he just needs to razz on the dude. It's just second nature to him.
I watched this season and I just watched this happening and I'm looking at this and I'm like, yeah, Moffat loved this.
Yes. Yeah. This is 100% like Mickey.
This is the Moffat dynamic. I mean, this was Rory, Amy, and the Doctor. Like,
absolutely, yeah.
Of just like this like Doctor just being like, "Oh, Rory," and he's like, "What did I didn't do anything."
Friggin' Rory. And like, you think about the best moments of like Girl in the Fireplace, that has some choice, like Mickey moments, like Mickey and the Doctor moments.
Oh yeah, sure. That was that's very true. Yeah. So he apparently really likes this dynamic as well.
Yeah, it was great.
Or liked
it.
Past tense.
Oh man, no.
It's over.
Now it's real.
In general, I was getting a lot of 12 vibes. From 4 this time.
Yeah. He had that Cheshire Cat smile a lot that Capaldi kind of borrowed.
And he was he's more grumpy than he has been in the previous stories this season. Because he's grumpy because they're being haunted by Irish spelunkers.
Yeah, he's under a lot of stress in this.
So. All right, so here's a mistake that I noticed. So when we are introduced to the what are these dudes called? Vogons, the aliens, right?
Yes, which I kept made me think of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy a lot.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. But yeah, when we're introduced to the Vogons, we're introduced to the dead body of one falling to the ground.
That's true.
And I just was thinking, I was like, this was a mistake, but
yes,
kudos to Michael Bryant, the director, and to like really everyone involved, the makeup people, whatever. Yeah, kudos to them for having the audacity to believe that the makeup job on these aliens are so good that you can introduce them as a dead body. Because I'll be honest, like it doesn't work at all. Like it flops down and I was like, oh, what happened to her? I thought it was a human, that like something had happened to her. I was like, oh, are the Cybermen sucking the life out of people or something?
The audience's first thing that they go for is, oh, that's a human.
Yeah.
Right.
With a weird face.
That something has happened to them.
Yeah.
Because now they're dead.
Yeah, because an alien is alien in not just looks, but like movement and like speech. But the kids know that it's not going to look like Star Wars. But like, if
they didn't even know what Star Wars was in 1975.
That's true. I think in their hearts they knew. They just didn't have words for it yet. It's like when we saw Black Panther.
But when the aliens, but after we like sort of pan up and we see that there's other ones, it's like, oh, there isn't anything wrong with her. She's just dead. She's just a dead alien.
I hadn't seen the story in so long that I forgot they were aliens, and I thought it was a mask, and I was like, what the heck kind of mask is that? And then I was like, oh, it's their face. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I feel bad.
The Vogan designs aren't. I mean, they're not terrible, especially for this era. They look like elongated Centaurans.
Yeah.
A little bit, which is fine, I guess. It's fine. But I want to compliment them on the costuming. That's what I was really struck by. I really like their costumes, like I don't know, like all of the detail on their costumes and stuff. It was really just like, well, it's too late to spend money on the plot of this thing, so we're just going to spend it all on costumes and makeup.
Yeah, no, that's actually really true. Like and it's a real shame because I have to go back and remember how good it looked.
Mm-hmm.
Because it doesn't leave an impression because the story isn't very surprising or memorable.
Right. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I really like the line of the guy that when they find the doctor, the guys on the space station, they find the doctor and they pull a gun on him, and the doctor's just the guy that's holding the gun. The doctor's just like, "Who's the homicidal maniac?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just really I love the idea, because the idea is that they're jumping to conclusions about him, so he might as well jump to conclusions about them. And I love that Tom Baker's doctor just like trolls everyone he meets. I just think it's so funny.
Yeah, no, and that's very 12, very 9 as well.
Mm-hmm.
Not to just start throwing out other doctors. But
yeah,
but this is the guy though. This is like Elvis. Like everyone borrowed from this dude.
Totally. I just like that no matter how much each doctor changes in personality, it's that every actor does such a good job of being the doctor still. Mm-hmm. Even though they're bringing their own thing to it, there's still like a sense of the doctor. And so I like finding, other doctors' things in all of the different doctors,
Yeah.
I remember, Steve Carell famously saying that he never watched the Ricky Gervais Office when he got the part because he wanted it to be its own thing. And I really admire that kind of thing. And I think that is a good idea most of the time. But I think if you're playing the Doctor, it's one of the few times where you actually do need to watch how the other actors did it, because it is, you want that echo,
right?
Even if it's subconscious,
right? Totally. Yeah, no,
it's crazy when 13 starts like doing like Jodie Whittaker's version of like, when does 4 show up? When does like 12 show up?
Yeah, totally.
Pumped.
I know.
Anyway, Revenge of the Cybermen.
Yeah. So I guess that takes us to part 2. What does part 1 end with? Is it
part 1 ends with Sarah Jane getting attacked by the Cybermen.
Right, getting attacked by the
The cliffhangers aren't
doing
even
that thing that you're
good in this. Like,
no,
like bad good.
No, they're all like, they're all just vague. Like, Harry doesn't know that's what that does.
Mm-hmm.
I know, that's like
the only one that. Well, okay, save that. Hold on, save that. Let's not.
Like,
we're not.
But like, there's 3 where the Doctor gets like shot. And like.
Well, yeah, we're going to talk about all of them. Hold on. Okay.
What are you talking about them?
No, we were talking about the one at the end of the first one. Then you guys all started talking about all of them.
Okay.
All right, hold on. We have a structure to this show. God damn it.
Anarchy.
Revenge of the Cybermen, Part 2. Written by Gary David. Directed by Michael Bryant. Produced by Philip Hinchcliffe. Script edited by Robert Holmes. Air date 26th of April, 1975. The Doctor defies death's dark will yet again and escapes the room to hear Sarah Jane being attacked. He kills the Cyberman with gold dust, but Sarah has already been bitten. Back on Voga, Voris schemes to have a giant rocket, the Sky Striker, fitted with bombs to really mess up some Cybermen. The Doctor sends Harry and the poisoned Sarah Jane down to Vogan. Sarah Jane quickly recovers once on Vogan, as the surface is covered in gold. Vogans arrive and capture Harry and Sarah Jane, taking them both to Voris. Voris must leave his prisoners, however, to have a meeting with Counselor Tylam. Tylam tells Voris that he isn't happy with the way he's been running things, and has assembled a militia to take over. Harry and Sarah Jane free themselves as fighting breaks out between the 2 Vogan factions. Meanwhile, a cybership docks onto Space Station Nerva, and the station is boarded by Cybermen who shoot the Doctor and the Nerva crewmen with their forehead lasers, seemingly killing them.
So after Sarah gets attacked by the Cybermat, she gets stricken with this virus thing, this virus like poison. And I gotta be honest, it is one of the coolest effects I've ever seen in Classic Who. Because she gets like the poison veins and they're like glowing, like for real, like on the set. It's not like something that they added in post. It's like,
oh, is it?
It looks like no. It's like it looks like an iridescent paint that they put on her, painted on her, that the camera lights are like shining off of and making it look that way. It's a practical effect. It's not done in post. It looks really cool.
That is impressive.
Yeah. Reminds me of the bubble wrap.
I love bubble wrap.
Yeah.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't love bubble wrap, to be honest? So after they cure Sarah of the poison, the glowy poison in her veins, which is this great bit where Harry's just like holding her and it just keeps talking about how he's not sure Sarah's going to make it. And the doctor's just like, shut up. Like,
I already know this.
I know. What do you think I'm doing? My God, you moron. God, he just hates Harry. It's just so funny. It's no wonder he leaves him behind in the next story. Yeah, so they after they heal Sarah and they go down to the asteroid, and they're down there getting gold and stuff, getting gold powder, and then the Vogons just like, I love it because Harry and Sarah just look up from seeing checking out the gold dust on the ground, and they look up and they just see like 6 Vogons come around a corner with guns, silently run up, like just huddle around them, pull them away, and then just scuttle on back around the corner. And it's all done completely. They're saying nothing. Nothing. The Vogons say nothing to Harry or Sarah. They just run out in unison, grab them, and run back in unison. And it is just the weirdest. I think that's more terrifying than if they were like screaming at them holding guns.
Oh man,
the Vogons. So
the Vogons, they kind of remind me of Mel Brooks in Spaceballs a little bit in the makeup.
Oh, they do a little bit, yeah, especially the old man.
Oh yeah, who I kept calling him Michael Gambon Vogan.
Yeah.
Did you put your name in the goblet of fire?
Yeah, you're on Drider.
Yeah, and then so the Cybermen, let's see here, what do we got? We got are the Cybermen in this one yet? It takes forever to get to the Cybermen.
I don't think so. I really don't think they are
yet. Oh man. Yeah, okay, so there's this thing where they take Harry and Sarah hostage. Or like they take him prisoner, put him in this cell, which is basically just like another room that looks exactly like the room they were just in. And Sarah, they put Sarah's legs in chains, and Harry gets out, and then he's like trying to get Sarah out, and he's like negging on Sarah's ankles, and I was like, not cool, Harry.
Yeah.
There's a. Like, him and the doctor just constantly are poking at Sarah when she's in trouble to, like, get her angry so she moves instead of freaking out. And it's effective, I guess, but it's really unfortunate because, like, poor Sarah. Leave her alone. She's doing her best. Like, why are you gonna...
Yeah.
Don't talk about her cankles.
I do like their...
What do her ankles have anything to do with anything?
I don't know.
God,
they really do have kind of like a brother-sister thing.
They do. I mean, that's what it would be now. Back then,
yeah.
I don't know.
Calls her old girl. Hello, old girl. We're going to die.
Yeah. God.
We're going to die.
God, is it just me, or would Harry Sullivan and the Fifth Doctor like really get along? Like just be best buds?
Oh my God. Well, here's my theory. I think the Fourth Doctor thought Harry was cooler than he allowed himself to say out loud. his kind of like, oh, that's a dude. That's like a real guy right there. And
He like regenerates into
so.
Harry Sullivan.
Yeah. He kind of takes it. Yeah. Hi, everyone.
Yeah.
I'm the doctor.
Oh boy.
I like cricket and going outside.
Oh man, that wouldn't surprise me at all. But yeah, I would have loved to see Harry and Five
bit like two dogs.
Out. Yeah.
When you introduce your dog to a friend's dog.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So then there's a bit where the Cybermen. So the Cybermen are in this because they're in the little pod ship and they're docking into the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're docking into the space station, and the shots where they're docking. I mean, it's like straight out of the like Star Trek: The Motion Picture when
the miniature shot.
Yeah, when they're like docking into the Enterprise, and it's just taking forever. Except that was a multi-million-dollar production, and this miniature looks like it was made for about $30.
Yeah.
But it takes about as long. Them docking. We're just like watching a long shot of just the cheapest looking miniature you've ever seen docking into another cheap ass miniature, and it's pretty incredible. Yeah. So then so the Doctor goes out to meet them, and as they're entering, and they enter, and then they shoot him in the back. And you get to this cliffhanger where they shoot him in the back. And before you find out what the result of the cliffhanger is, he gets shot in the back and goes down. And I just go, the 12th Doctor died like this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
Weird.
Yeah.
How many times do we walk past the door of death without even
I know. It's true.
Revenge of the Cybermen, Part 3. Written by Jerry David. Directed by Michael Bryant. Produced by Philip Hinchcliffe. Script edited by Robert Holmes. Air date, 3rd of May, 1975. The Doctor and the others aren't dead at all, but are strapped with explosives and set to be sent down to Voga to destroy the asteroid. Kelman volunteers to beam down to Vogon first, but is captured by the militia as soon as he gets there. The Cyber Leader plans to destroy Vogon so that the humans can lose access to its precious Cybermen-killing gold. The Doctor and the crewmen are beamed down to Vogon to leave their bombs on their asteroid. Kelman tells Tylam about Vorus's plan to destroy the Cybermen. He and Harry are sent down to the same mines where the Doctor is. Harry accidentally causes a rock slide, which crushes the Doctor. Harry finds the Doctor's unconscious body and proceeds to start fiddling with the bomb strapped to the Doctor.
So in 13, the guy, the mole who is working with the Cybermen, who led them to the Ark in Space, he comes around the corner and sees the Doctor and looks at him and goes, "Oh, you didn't kill him." And the Cybermen are like, "Of course we didn't kill him." And I was like, "Wow, great cliffhanger resolved."
Why would we do that?
Yeah. It's just like, oh wow, the Doctor's dead. He was shot in the back. Oh no, just no. Like no, there's no like smart way to get out of it. He's not wearing like a bulletproof vest or anything. Like it's just like we didn't actually kill him. It's fine.
That's not a cliff. A cliffhanger isn't just you didn't tell us everything.
Right.
So many classic Who cliffhangers are like that, though. Like,
I know.
So many.
Oh man, that's really good. I mean, it's not unlike look, it's one of the best cliffhangers in Doctor Who history. But the fake out regeneration of 10, it's not unlike that.
Yeah,
because we were like, oh, he's dead. He is dead. And he's regenerating. And oh my God. And then it's like, oh no, actually, if I just do I'm a little teapot, I can put my energy into another thing. And then I'm fine. Ridiculous. Anyway. So the Doctor's taken into custody. Oh, there's this great bit where they're going through his pockets, and all he's got in his pockets are jelly babies and an apple core.
Which is, to me, all you need to know about him.
Yes.
Well, he had well, never mind. I don't want to.
Just put an apple core. Like, he ate an apple, and he put the core in his pocket and just left it.
He didn't see a place to throw it away.
Oh, man. I love the Doctor. It's just so stupid.
Won't it get all sticky and gross? Like,
yes, it absolutely would.
Probably.
And he only has one outfit.
He's waiting.
He's
for
not
like
washing
a
that thing very
pile
often,
or something. Like,
I don't know. Also, how long has that been in there? When did he eat an apple?
ew, I know.
We've seen like every minute of his
I
existence
bet
for
you
the past
it's been
like
in there since
4
like
stories.
Pertwee. Like,
Oh my
he
god!
died, and he was just like, "Oh, this is still in here. Gross."
He's like, he would have changed because he's in a different outfit now. But yeah, maybe he
that's
was
true.
eating an apple in Robot and then has just had the apple core in there since then. Since we started the long way around, it's been a while. Yeah, he's had that apple core for a long time. So the Doctor, I love the Doctor goading the Cyber Leader.
Yes.
Where he's just like, again, he's just such a troll in this story.
Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite part of the story. The story itself it's not even, I wouldn't even call it bad necessarily. It's just such a nothing story.
Yeah.
You know what it reminds me of, and not to keep just bringing up other dudes, but there were episodes of towards the end of 11's run where I think we liked it just because we liked 11. Or we liked Amy and Rory and those three, like being cute and fun. And if we like took the bread off the sandwich, we were like, oh, this is actually kind of just whatever.
The
Right.
power of 3.
Yes, exactly.
The power of 3.
I don't like. This story is so like mediocre, and like it's not good, but it's not so bad it's good. It's just kind of there, and that's my.
Yeah, like watching it is fun. It's just,
Oh no,
it's
I
also
have no,
not
I have
very...
no fun watching this. This is like my least favorite kind
Okay.
of story, where I'm just like, all right, this is a thing that happened, and I'm watching it.
Yeah.
Now.
The stuff like I could watch for Sarah Jane and Harry bumming around a spaceship. Like the first episode is pretty good. Like I like the first episode because it's
They just find some dead bodies.
yeah, it's kind of silly but it's also like kind of eerie because the space station is so empty and they're like, tiptoeing around trying to figure out what's going on. Like I like that. I think the first part is good. It's the other 3 that are not great. So yeah, so there's at a certain point we get to a point where there are there's 2 factions of Vogans. So there's like the main Guardian Vogans, and then there's these other Vogans who are just like, no, we have to kill everybody. They want to blow stuff up, and they're at war with each other, civil war that the Doctor gets in the middle of. Surprise, surprise, it's Doctor Who. And they're like sort of like having a battle in the asteroid caverns, and they're just like they're like shooting at each other from across a hallway is what it seems like. I mean, it's a cave, so it's not like an actual hallway, but the cave is like the size of a hallway. So like they're both just like on either side of a rock using it as cover and then just shooting each other across the little hallway sized cavern. And then in this story, or in this episode, like the Cybermen show up, and so then it's like it's like they're shooting each other, but then also trying to shoot the Cybermen, and the Cybermen are just standing there taking it.
Yeah, like it was a weird, it was a very strange war.
Yeah, it was just a bunch of people standing around shooting each other.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, the second time I watched this episode, I found myself being like fast forwarding because I knew it would just be like a minute of gunfights.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But the only thing that saves those moments is the awesome synth jams going on during
very good score
during those. Yeah, this episode actually does have a really good score.
Oh no, I don't like it at all. Like the sliding trombone thing.
Yeah, I mean maybe
I don't remember the sliding trombone. I just remember
it's like all over.
I just remember the synth jams in that in the standing around gunfight that felt like something right out of Stranger Things, and I loved it. It was really
also good. on a personal note, I have a dog in the apartment now, and those noises were not. He was not the laser noises, so I was very resentful of them. How often they kept happening.
Well, it was
Amazing.
the Cybermen shooting out of their weird head cannons, like literal head cannons.
Yeah,
right.
Head cannons. What if that's what they did? They just walked around being like, "We think Harry and Roger."
Oh my god.
Oh,
when they go to the ship and alien, all those eggs must mean that a queen was somewhere on the ship. Headcanon.
Oh my god.
Spectacular. I love that. James Bond was a Time Lord, headcanon.
Yeah. They're not there. They just wander around changing history.
Yeah. They just shoot things and it changes them into their headcanon.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. That's great. Man, if Class was still on the air,
Oh,
would have specced the crap out of that.
oh my god. Headcanon. I just love the idea of them saying headcanon and then firing off a beam of retcon.
Yeah, it just changes time and space.
That's like that. It's like the Care Bear stare, but it's coming out of the Cyberman's head.
Just changes everything.
And then it's just like it's like a Care Bear stare that ends with Ron and Harry holding hands.
Oh no!
Oh my god. That's amazing.
Okay, where are we at? On...
Thor and Loki are actually jilted lovers. Headcanon.
Oh my god, I'm dead. I'm dead.
And then there's a rock collapse, and
the laziest rock collapse I have ever seen.
Harry. What does Harry do? He like pushes up against it.
Yeah, and it causes a bunch of rocks to collapse. So the Cybermen have put strapped like a bomb to his chest. That if you tamper with it, it'll blow up. And Harry is in the caverns, and he hits a cave wall, and then the rocks fall onto the Doctor after he shouts for a bunch of other prisoners to get out of the way. Mm-hmm. And he gets hit by the rocks and is out, and then Harry comes around and he's like, "Oh, it's the Doctor." And he goes up to him and he's like, "Oh, well, let's take this stupid thing off." And he starts messing with the bomb on his chest, and that's the cliffhanger.
It's so dumb.
It's just Harry doesn't know what he's doing. That's the cliffhanger.
It's so dumb.
You can you can imagine the children being like, "No, Harry,
Harry, no,
you idiot!"
Oh no.
Revenge of the Cybermen, Part 4. Written by Jerry David. Directed by Michael Bryant. Produced by Philip Hinchcliffe. Script edited by Robert Holmes. Air date 10th of May, 1975. Lester, a crewman, stops Harry from blowing up the Doctor. The Doctor disables the bomb, so the Cyber Leader plans to send the space station itself crashing into Vogan. The Doctor asks Tyler if he can try to stop the Cybermen himself on Nerva before the Sky Striker is used. Once on board the space station, the Doctor finds Sarah, but before they can finish their plan, Voris sends the Sky Striker to destroy the space station. The Doctor manages to tell Vogan to redirect the Sky Striker. The TARDIS finally materializes again, and the gang heads back to Earth to help Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart, who has sent a letter to the Doctor asking for his help.
And then in episode 4, the somebody stops Harry from blowing them all up, and
hey, don't do that.
Yeah, they don't do that. Yeah. The doctor wakes up and he's like, did you cause the rock collapse? And he's like, oh, I'm afraid I did, doctor. And he's like, did you try to mess with the bomb on my chest? And he's like, oh, I tried to get it off. And the doctor just starts laughing and then suddenly screams, Harry Sullivan is an imbecile, and then collapses.
Like to God himself.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Just yells that out into the universe.
Harry Sullivan is an imbecile, and then passes out.
It's moments like that made the episode more pleasurable. Kind of in a dinosaurs on a spaceship kind of way. I'll still go to bat for that episode just because I like all those little moments.
And I think that it's so funny though, because like a moment like that, the way that as hateful as the Fourth Doctor is to Harry in this whole story, it just makes me think of like, you know, like Nick, you're not aware of this yet because you haven't gotten to him, but like, you know, just 4 years later, angry, drunk Tom Baker doing this stuff would be bad. I mean, it'll hurt your heart if he does this stuff later on.
So you're saying there's a playfulness and an agility to it now that we lose later on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's weird to see, but I find it off-putting still because I can think of, I know what's coming.
Yeah.
And so I just look at moments like this and I was like, no, it's like a precursor of things to come. Where he's just like that all the time.
But for right now, it's all fun and games.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's like remembering a friend. Like, oh, remember that one time that one dude kind of went crazy and had that, but then it becomes the norm, and it's like, oh, that's not a fun memory anymore.
Right. So there's we learn about the rockets, and so there's a rocket that is going to blow up the asteroid. The Cybermen want to blow up the asteroid because they want to use the rocket to blow up the asteroid because it's full of gold that could kill them. And the warring faction of the Vogons want to use the asteroid to kill the Ark in space because they're just like, they're different and weird from us. And want to blow them up. And then the old man is just like, oh, can't you just leave everyone alone? So everybody's fighting over controls of this rocket. Eventually the Cybermen get the control of the rocket and are firing it. But the Cybermen don't fire it, right? It's the guy. He fires it. He gets
it.
The
Cybermen attached the bombs to the people, and they were going to blow up the asteroid from inside, but then it doesn't work.
Right.
And then right. Yeah, it doesn't work. And then the Vogons or whatever, Vogon poetry. They want to blow up the Cybermen because the Cybermen tried to blow up their planet ages ago or whatever. There was like some war or whatever. Mm-hmm. They have a rocket, and the Cybermen have the spaceship, the space station.
Right.
So then they're just
right.
Oh, plan B, let's just ram the space station into the asteroid, and that'll fix it.
Right, that's right, yeah. But then they send the rocket to blow up the Ark before it can hit the asteroid. Mm-hmm. But then the Doctor gets control of the Ark at the last minute, and then the rocket takes off, the rocket is just stock footage of a NASA rocket.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it says USA on the side. It's literally just stock footage of it's like the stock footage you always see when you see stock footage of a rocket taking off. It's that stock footage. It's that same early 60s stock footage of a rocket taking off. And it's that stock footage, and then the rocket comes toward them, and the Doctor, it's coming right for them, and they do all they can to try and get the Ark in space out of the way. and there's this really funny moment where they're in the control room watching the rocket come right toward them on the view screen. And then the rocket comes toward them and they both duck as if they're looking out a window, but they're not. It's a screen. And it's really funny, but it goes over them and then it's fine.
And then they get a phone call from the Brigadier.
Yeah. Well, a telegraph.
A telegraph.
Yeah.
True.
A space-time telegraph from the Brigadier.
Which is so much more charming than a phone call for some reason.
Hello. Yeah. It's very professional.
It is. Oh my God. What if the Doctor like pulls out the old space-time telegraph? Like, oh, I forgot I had this. And it's just, it is just an endless supply of the Brigadier asking for help.
Oh no.
That he just hasn't seen.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, that's so sad.
And it just, Doctor, need help.
Because it's just so funny that, like, you know, I know that it doesn't actually exist yet at this point, but you know, if we're talking about the Doctor Who taken as a whole, the Doctor has a phone that he gives out numbers to. Mm-hmm. Like, he gave out the number to what's his face, Gary Oldman. What's his face?
Winston Churchill.
Oh, Churchill.
Churchill. Yeah.
Oh, he's still John Lithgow to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, I watched a whole season without Lithgow, so I'm already.
That's a good season too.
I'm past it. Yeah, it is they were both real good seasons, but yeah. But yeah, so he gave it to Churchill. So it's not even like the time period is the issue. He just didn't give the Brigadier his telephone number. He gave him the telegraph system.
It's much more romantic this way.
Oh, man.
He's an old-fashioned
We can
man.
write each other notes.
Yeah.
The Brigadier and the Doctor are in love. Headcanon.
Okay, so that's another thing that I don't like about this story is the Cybermen don't sound like Cybermen. They just sound like dudes in Cyberman suits.
Oh, yeah. There's a dude that straight up sounds like he's got like a northern accent.
Yeah, I think it's like the cyber leader or whatever, the guy with the black helmet, and I'm just like, wow, okay.
Yeah. Like, I just kept waiting for the cyber leader to just be like, well, you have something that the other Doctor didn't have. Great big bushy beard. It just didn't. Was not correct. It was weird. Mm-hmm. It was super weird.
Because the cyber leader going forward,
headcanon.
In Earthshock, the cyber leader sounds legit, and then all the other I don't know. It's kind of sad.
Jim Broadbent to Cybermen now. Headcanon. Man, Stephen Moffat really missed out on the headcanon thing.
Yeah. Well, that's Chibnall's ball now.
Yeah, it's true. Pick it up, Chibnall. Headcanon. Anyway.
Oh my God, can you imagine if they go to the land of fiction, but instead of fiction, it's fan fiction?
The land of fiction is now fan fiction. Headcanon.
Yeah. Doctor Who versus the internet.
Oh my God. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Oh my God, I want that so bad. I'm gonna cut that out of this episode so we can save it for when we get to write the show.
I made it funny.
I'm not gonna cut it out. I'm too lazy.
Fair.
Also, I'm not editing this one, so
headcanon.
Headcanon. So, yeah, I think that's all we got for this one.
This was a fun episode.
Yeah.
Of the Doctor's Companion.
Yeah, this podcast was a fun episode.
It's longer than I expected it to be honest.
Way longer than I expected it to be. I expected the majority of this to be the background of significance, to be honest. So I am shocked, but pleasantly surprised. That's Revenge of the Cybermen. And, it's now on my list of stories that I probably won't ever watch again, most likely. So.
Lucky.
As always, visit us at duelinggenre.com. Email us contact@thedoctorscompanion.us. Tweet us at TDCpod. We love hearing from you guys about what you think about the episodes or Doctor Who in general. Let us know how you're getting excited for the show coming back in the fall or whenever it comes back.
Yeah.
Facebook, iTunes, and you can listen to some of our other shows, including Lord of the Rings Minute, which is back in full force.
Mm-hmm. You'll be able to hear Nick and I talk more about Jim Broadbent next season on the Cornetto Minute.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. We're covering Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Heck yeah.
And,
How? Okay. Here. All right. Hold on just a damn minute. How in the world do you make 6 Middle-earth movies and you don't make Jim Broadbent a Hobbit? How does that happen?
He doesn't want to go to New Zealand? Question mark. Yeah, that's
disappointed.
A missed opportunity right there.
Yeah, nobody. Yeah, he is
Amazon.
He could have been like a took,
Amazon, get on this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He could be like a Shacksville bag.
Hell yeah!
Oh man. Oh my God. Amazing.
Give me your stuff.
Amazing.
Support us at duelinggenre.com/support. Just click on the donation button. You can also get merch for a lot of the podcasts, including TMNT Minute, which is some really cool shirts.
Actually, if you go to, I want to mention, if you go to duelinggenre.com/merch, we are actually now an affiliate of TeePublic.
What does that mean?
That means we get more money for the t-shirt sales and stuff.
Hooray.
Well, hey.
And we can sell all sorts of designs in our store, not just made exclusively for us, but things of this sort of thing. So basically, you can go to our store and you can buy anything in our merch store on TeePublic, and we'll get a bit off the top. We get, I think, 11% or something like that of regular sales, and then like 30+% of our own designs, which is
cool,
pretty rad. Yeah,
that's fun.
Yeah, so now is the time to go buy merch. I'll make sure that there's lots of Doctor Who related stuff in there, and maybe we'll start selling some. We'll start getting some Doctor's companion designs. Like, Lord knows we have enough running jokes on this show.
I would honestly to God wear a shirt that said Pex lives. Like,
yeah. Well, apparently, Bad Macro Roommate was a big hit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Apparently that was a big hit, so I don't know. We had people reaching out telling us how much they liked that episode.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that's good. So anyway, go to our TeePublic store, and we'll be back next week with the Black Orchid.